Is it live now? Or...
Yes, ma'am. I think we are live.
So shall we start?
Yes, ma'am. We can start.
Okay. Good evening. Myself, Dr. Seema Gupta, Associate Professor, Department of Physics, Kalindi College. I welcome you all to the fourth session of Youth Orientation Program organized by Kalindi College in association with Shakti. Today we have with us Advocate Ms. Bhakti Sethi.
Let me share her introduction slide. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Ms. Bhakti Sethi has passed out LLB from the Maharishi Dayanand University, Rohtak, in the year 2001 and stood second in the university. In the final year, as a law student, she visited the district courts, Rohtak, as a part of the mandatory practical training. She is practicing as an advocate before the Honorable Supreme Court of India since September 2001. While practicing, she joined an NGO named Bar Law as a volunteer and organized several legal literacy workshops in and around Delhi in the year 2002 to 2004. Bhakti Pasrija was elected as the youngest executive member of the Supreme Court Bar Association in the year 2004 and in the year 2006. She has also been serving as Vice President of Supreme Court Women Lawyer Association since 2014. Recently, she has authored a book named 16 Beams of a Wonderful Life, which talks about secrets of living a happy life. Ms. Bhakti has successfully contested several cases on behalf of different stratas of the society as an advocate over the years for getting justice delivered to the affected people. Some of the memorable and landmark matters include Sabarimala matter, air pollution matter, the Rohtang Pass matter, ban on child porn, issue regarding re-registration of vehicles on transfer to a different state. She is a trained mediator and has helped in amicable settlement of disputes between the parties. She has also worked as a volunteer in the Gender Sensitization and Internal Complaint Committee, Supreme Court of India. She has also been appointed as amicus curiae by the Honorable Supreme Court of India in some cases. It's my privilege to welcome Ms. Bhakti Pasrija here on this online platform. Ms. Bhakti Sethi will speak on women right in Constitution of India today. Students, if you have any query or any question, you can write on chat. So we will take questions after our session is over. So welcome to you, ma'am, and over to you.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to join all of you on this Monday evening in this webinar. I hope vacations are going on in your college also, and all the young students, they are also enjoying their vacations. And meanwhile, it's a great initiative to have these webinars, and particularly the topic for today, which is legal awareness among women in India. I think it's a great topic, and all the girls, because they are like on the verge of venturing out. Soon they would be taking different roles. Somebody would be a lawyer, somebody would be a bureaucrat, leader, whatever, the great legends of tomorrow. So it's great if everybody is aware about the rights, right, which are available to them. When we talk about women rights, like rights which every girl, every woman, she should be aware about. The first thing which comes to our mind, it's right to equality. It's the basic right. Like when we see our past, our ancestors, like girls, our grandmothers, great grandmothers, they were like treated like second citizens. They used to be like they were not equal. But now, after the Constitution of India came into force after independence, we have Article 14 in Constitution of India, which provides right to equality to every citizen, to men and women. Article 15 prohibits any kind of discrimination on basis of sex, that is gender discrimination. And Article 16 of Constitution of India, it provides equality in matters related to employment, in public employment. So this is right to equality, which is available to all. And when we talk about laws, I think we have great laws, but the implementation part, we have to be aware. Unless and until we are aware and we practice that equality everywhere, like suppose in our household, in our college, everywhere, like because these are young girls, all of you are young girls who are just venturing out. So when you grow up, practice equality also. You know there is right to equality. Nobody can treat you as a lesser being, but in your homes also, in your workplaces also, treat your mothers equally, tomorrow treat your kids, your sons and daughters, both equally. So when we practice what we preach, whatever the laws are, then only the equality becomes like the things become enforceable in their true sense. Like I will give you an example. Like we have seen so many, we have now these days we have so many women role models in every arena of life. We have women finance minister, in politics also we have great lawyers, great daughters, and all of you, like we have great women teachers also. So somewhere there is a family background, like when in our family there is some encouragement, there is something like there is no bar, when there is a thing, when we are treated at par, when you treat everybody at par, there then only the equality comes. When you are aware of your rights, like right to equality, only then you can initiate certain steps. Like I will give you an example of Babita Punia case of armed forces. Women of armed forces, they were not getting permanent commission in army. In 1992, they were taken in army. They were getting temporary commissions, not permanent commissions. Then they decided, because they were aware that there is right to equality. They decided to enforce it. There was a battle, there was a long battle, legal battle, and since 1992, they have proved, the women in the army, they had proved their mettle also. They worked really hard, and they proved that they are not lesser to men. So they filed a matter, a public interest litigation in court. The matter came to High Court, then Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court recognized that no, women are not lesser to anybody, so they have to be given permanent commission. They are not lesser than men. They are equal in capabilities, they are equal in any way. So they had, finally they got, in Babita Punia case, we got a landmark judgment, and women have now got permanent commission in army also, and they have now got combat roles also. So I think only when you are aware of your rights, once you are aware of your rights and you see there is some discrepancy and some discrimination is going on, then you must raise your voice. You must come up, you must raise your voice, and then after you raise your voice, you can take the things to court also, things get streamlined. This is the way things move on. When I say there are laws, but there is implementation which is lacking somewhere. So whenever you feel there is things are not implemented, you have to rise up, you have to raise your voice, and then surely the things would be implemented also. I also remember a case about women teachers. It was long years back, I think around 25, 30 years back. What used to happen, female teachers, they were not given equal salary at par with men. Male teachers, they were given more salary, female employees were given lesser salary. So the matter came up to Supreme Court. So Supreme Court said, no, look, this can't happen. There can't be any difference for equal work for equal pay. When women are performing equally to men, they have to be given equal salary. You can't discriminate on basis of sex. Because she is a female, you can't give her lesser salary. So this is the right to equality. And over the years, we have seen so many cases where the Honorable Supreme Court has also understood the plight of so many women. Air hostess issue also. What used to happen, there was a Nargis case. Women air hostesses, what used to happen, whenever they used to get pregnant, on first pregnancy, they were like given ground duties. they were removed from job, and there were some clauses in some other cases also, when after a female employee gets pregnant, she had to inform. The Supreme Court intervened. Supreme Court said these things are very discriminatory. You can't discriminate women, and right to equality, it was enforced. The second right which every woman should be aware about is right to property. When we speak about rights in property, recently, we have read newspapers also, and I think everybody is aware about women's right in property these days after the Supreme Court judgments, because there was huge media coverage, and everywhere the Supreme Court judgment where women have been given, girls have been given equal rights in property of their father. In ancestral property. So I guess everybody is aware. Now girls have equal rights, equal to son in ancestral property. There are some cases, some queries which came to us. Some girls, they said, can I get equal rights in property which is self-acquired property of my father or of my mother. So, when we speak about property, whenever there is always a difference in ancestral property and self-acquired property, and the difference, whatever rights are available to a son in ancestral property, same rights are available to a girl also in that ancestral property. Whatever rights are available to a boy in self-acquired property of parents, same rights are available to daughters also in self-acquired property. But the only only difference in self-acquired property is parents can always make a will. If there is a will, suppose if father wants that my entire property which I have acquired by my own efforts, by my own, I have not inherited that property. So there can always be a will that I want to give this property to my son or to my daughter or to someone else. So anybody can make a will. So whenever there is a will related to self-acquired property, so the property will devolve in accordance with that will. But when we speak about ancestral property, so girls are also now co-partners. We have Hindu Succession Act, which has been amended, and now earlier, girls, they were not given the share in property, but now as soon as a girl is born, she has equal right, just like their brothers in the property, ancestral property, or they are also now co-partners, which they were not earlier. Then after the rights of property, the right to equality, right to property, the third thing, which I think is most important to a girl after she gets married, these are matrimonial rights of a woman. When I speak about matrimonial rights of a woman, in the past several years, particularly during the lockdown and past 3-4 years, I got some cases, and I would like to share 2-3 cases which would show the plight of women. And I think even well-educated girls today have that problem. A girl came to me. She is a doctor, and after her child was born, she was not treated well because the child was female child, and there was some kind of discrimination among in-laws, and they were not treating her properly. And finally, due to the bad behavior of in-laws, she had to leave the matrimonial home, and she came to her sister's house. So many days passed. They were not picking her phone. Nobody was taking her back. And now it was not possible for her to live at her sister's place longer. So she called me up. So she said, ma'am, what should I do? I don't have anything. She was not aware that what to do now. She was in such a situation that she had no clue where should she go, and she was a doctor. And despite being a doctor, she was helpless in such a situation. So in such a situation, every girl should know that you have a right to residence, you have right to have a home. Nobody can throw you out of your matrimonial home. Nobody can throw you out. We have Domestic Violence Act. The girl can approach police in such a situation. If police is not doing anything, if police fails to take any action, because as I say, at times there is a problem with implementation, one can go to court. One can approach any lawyer, whatever lawyer. On these days on Google, you will find numbers of so many lawyers. You can take reference from your friends or relatives, but you must approach a lawyer. And if you don't know anybody, no issues. We have legal aid societies. In every court, there is a provision of providing free legal aid to women also. So you can go to court and you must hire a lawyer. We have Domestic Violence Act, and protection of women from domestic violence. So whenever a case is filed, a court will assign a protection officer who will look into the matter, who will take note of the situation, and thereafter appropriate orders would be passed pertaining to residence of women, and she can claim maintenance also if she has no source of income. She can claim maintenance for herself, for her children also, even if she is working and that income is not sufficient to meet the ends, whereas husband has good sources of income. Then also she can claim maintenance. She can claim the same standard of living which she has in her matrimonial home. So this is one thing, because such cases, not one, not two, so many cases like of the girls who are educated also came to me, like the girls have no clue where to go. So first thing, if such thing happens to anybody, like it can be, all of you are studying right now, but there can be some girls like who you know, the girls you know, somebody can be in your family, elder sisters or anybody. So whenever such thing happens, you have to inform them that you have a right to residence in your matrimonial home. Nobody can throw you out. And if such thing happens, just approach police. Like I think so many girls are terrified. Oh, what happens if we approach police? If we go to police, then like we will not be taken back in our matrimonial home. So I think you should just let go of all these fears, because unless and until when you keep off tolerating all these things, then only then these things aggravate. You have to take action. You have to rise up. You have to raise your voice. Just approach police. Be bold, be confident, be strong enough. When you have not done anything wrong, you should not tolerate anything wrong. You should go to police. Thereafter, you should approach courts also. You can file application under Domestic Violence Act. You can file petition under 125 CRPC and claim maintenance. And this is not even limited to wives. Like if somebody is a sister, mother, grandmother, whosoever is like finding it difficult to meet the ends, that person can approach the court and ask for maintenance from court, from the relatives or from sons, whosoever is able to pay, and whosoever is responsible to pay, you can claim maintenance. And you should not just let yourself suffer and die because of unawareness of law. And then the third thing, which I think would be very important for young girls, is right to dignity and decency. Like dignity is very important. Animal existence is of no use. When you are living, it should be a dignified life. And when we talk about right to dignity and decency, there are certain things like the young girls growing up, certain things happen. We hear about so many cases of like stalking, some men is stalking, undue advances, overtures, sexual gestures, like so many things. Like somebody might be clicking somebody's pictures without their consent and then circulating those pictures. Like this is a punishable offense. If somebody is stalking someone, it's a punishable offense under section 354 of IPC. And if a complaint is made, the person can be arrested and he will be sent behind bars. So whenever such thing happens, just approach police, go to police station and make a complaint that I am being stalked. And stalking, it's not physical stalking only, like it can be social stalking also. Somebody might be stalking and somebody is stalking you in any way which is harming you, which is harming your mental peace, physically, mentally, in any way. If you are being stalked, just raise your voice, just go to police and you would be protected. And then there is a provision of zero FIR. Like some girls come, like we know about the Hyderabad girls case, the rape case which happened in Hyderabad 2-3 years ago, like 2-3 years ago. What happened? All of you must have heard about that case. The girl went missing. And the parents of girl, they went out searching for the girl. They couldn't find the girl. They went to police station. So one police station said, no, we don't have jurisdiction. Please go to another police station. They went to another police station. That police station also said, please go to another police station. So this can't be done now. Now we have a concept of zero FIR. Now what is this zero FIR? Like whenever one goes to police station for filing some complaint, for registering first information report, that FIR is registered and a serial number is assigned to that FIR. And in zero FIR, like suppose some incident you came to know about somebody, like somebody has gone missing in Haridwar and you are sitting in Delhi. The parents are in Delhi and they are not able to contact their child in Haridwar, their girl in Haridwar, or whatever. You come to know, somebody calls you up, like this is happening with me, what should I do? And you come aware of some offense, like something wrong is happening somewhere. So you can immediately approach the nearest police station, wherever you are. In Delhi itself, you can approach the police station. Police will register FIR immediately if some cognizable offense is happening, if some offense of some such crime is given. Police will register FIR and zero number would be given. That FIR would be known as zero FIR and it would be immediately transferred to the police station which has jurisdiction, where the things are happening, and police will immediately swing into action. So in these days of social media, when we have Twitter, when we have Facebook, when we have so many things, like revealing identity of girl is not permissible. But when something is happening, like you can just go to police station, get registered FIR, and then you can pursue with police to get the investigation done and to do the prevention. Because in such cases, like in Hyderabad case, if immediately police had swung into action, if immediately they would have done something, maybe the incident would have been prevented. Things won't have gone. The precious life of the girl, it would have been saved if this thing had not happened, if immediately something was done. So the zero FIR is something which everybody must be aware of. It's not that you are sitting somewhere and you can't do. Like in this Asaram matter, the girl belonged to Jodhpur, but the FIR was registered by her in Delhi. And thereafter, it was transferred to Jodhpur. So this is the concept of zero FIR, that whenever you come across any offense, something's happening with anybody and you come to know, you can get FIR registered and the action would be taken. It would be transferred. Then when a person starts working, we have sexual harassment of women at workplace, Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act of 2013. We have Vishakha judgment. In fact, the act came after Vishakha judgment of Supreme Court. And earlier there were no guidelines related to prevention of sexual harassment or prevention of dignity of women at workplaces. Because when a girl is working, when a lady is working at a workplace, and like somebody, maybe the colleagues or anybody makes such kind of advances which are not tolerable. So earlier there was no mechanism. Girl had to just go to police station, and many times it was not possible because she had the fear of losing her job and reputation, everything. And there were no guidelines. Then Vishakha case happened, guidelines were made by a Supreme Court, and I think now we have gender sensitization and internal complaints committee everywhere, in every college, in every offices we have. And like whenever there is something in college also or whatever at workplaces also, if behavior of someone, you don't like behavior of someone and it is indecent and beyond the permissible limits, you don't like that behavior, you feel that somebody is crossing the limits, then you can approach the gender sensitization committees, and the committees, they have to work, they have the members who have to investigate, who have to inquire into the incident, and who can take disciplinary action against the person who is doing all this. Then after this Sexual Harassment at Workplaces Act, let's talk about maternity benefits. Like there are some girls which have which say like these things used to happen earlier, like whenever a woman was pregnant or she had child, she just had to like leave job, or there was very few leaves. Like after a month we have seen girls coming to their offices and joining their offices back, leaving their kids aside. But now things have changed. Now we have acts which protect now maternity. It has been acknowledged that maternity and work, they go hand in hand because it's a natural right of women. So you have maternity, you can always ask for maternity leaves. You won't ask, like it would be available to you. Maternity leaves, there would be no deduction of pay. To pregnant women also, nobody can just on ground of pregnancy, the woman cannot be terminated. So maternity benefits are also available, and every girl must be aware of these rights. And whenever you are on the way to your motherhood, you will be entitled to full salary, and you can't be removed from your job. So you must also be aware about your maternity rights whenever you start working. And then there is a right to free legal aid also. Like I spoke about free legal aid, just spoke about free legal aid. Like suppose in the matrimonial matters or in any kind of matters, like suppose somebody has no money and there are no sufficient sources, whether it's a matter related to property, or you have to enforce some right to equality, like you have to challenge something like this is discriminatory and I feel this should not be done, or whatever. If there is any issue and there is some constraints regarding money, you can always have free legal aid. Free legal aid, it's your right. You can approach courts and you can approach the Free Legal Aid Society. There is all in all the courts, in district courts and high court and Supreme Court, everywhere. You have the Free Legal Aid cell, and you will be given a lawyer. The lawyer will give you advice also for legal advice. Also, you can have a lawyer freely for contesting your matter. Also, you can always have a free legal aid. So these are the some basic laws, the general laws which everybody should be aware about. And then there are some laws like in Constitution of India, we have Article 21, right to life. Now, right to life, it's a very broad life. Right to life includes right to live with dignity, right to live in clean environment, in fresh air. Like, in fact, we filed a case related to air pollution because a few years back, so many trucks, I think so many trucks, more than 80,000 trucks used to enter Delhi, and they used to cause air pollution, and the air was really bad. Air quality was bad. So our association, Supreme Court Women Lawyers Association, we filed a matter, and the entry of trucks was banned in Delhi, non-destined trucks, and alternate routes were designed. So similarly, like if there is something you feel like something is creating nuisance, sometimes what happens, somebody starts an activity, somebody starts burning leaves, burning of plastics, such kind of things which are hazardous for everybody's existence and disturbing peace and creating nuisance also. That time also, like you can approach courts, you can exercise your rights, and there would be a redressal and the things would be sorted out. Now we have spoken about all these things like right to equality, right to property, matrimonial rights of women, right to dignity and decency, sexual harassment of women at workplace, zero FIR, maternity benefits, free legal aid. So, like, I would like to invite anybody of you, like, if you have some query, like, about right to property or equality, if you want to know about something, like, or if you have some experience to share. So, I think we can do that also before we venture further.
Girls, speak up, come on. This is a golden opportunity that you can discuss any of your doubts or queries or anything which is coming up in your mind right now.
Or anybody would like to share their experience, like share their experience about what's their experience about, like suppose right to equality, how you feel, like do you feel like there is a right to equality in true sense, and if it's not there, why it's not there? Or have you ever been treated as a lesser being, or at a lesser pedestal than men, or with your
Unmute yourself, beta, and speak up.
Bacho, please ask if you have any queries, any questions, you can ask right now and get it clarified.
Good evening, Mrs. Shakti. Thank you so much for the wonderful talk. First of all, is my voice clear? I must apologize. I'm traveling in metro, and so maybe there's some background noise. Madam, can you throw some light upon what if the police refuses to file an FIR when you go to a police station? This is the case in most of the times when you go to the police station and you lodge a complaint. They try not to file an FIR, and they keep on saying, we'll do it, you just give it in writing and so on. Please throw some light on why it is important to get a complaint number from the police station, and what is the difference between a complaint and an FIR?
Yeah, a very valid question. Like this happens in so many cases. Like when a person goes to police station, initially they say like we won't register a FIR. So it's duty of a policeman or a police officer who is sitting there to register a FIR. The difference between complaint and FIR is like when somebody goes to police station initially for something, for reporting an incident, and he files a complaint. Like it can be a written kind of complaint. It can be given to police, but whenever it is given to police, whenever you give something, a complaint in writing to police, just take their stamp and just get it recorded in their register. There is a entry register, a diary which is maintained at every police station. Just get it recorded there, and after it is recorded, it is assigned to investigating officer. And investigating officer, what normally happens in such kind of cases, whenever there is a complaint which is made, after a complaint is made, it is assigned to one investigating officer, and investigating officer, like he calls the persons who are involved against whom complaint is made, and thereafter he asks certain questions from them, and thereafter, like if the incident is such which requires him going somewhere and getting the statements and finding out the facts, he will do that. And after he is through with the investigation and he feels like something has happened, he takes action and FIR is registered. Before that, after the preliminary investigation, FIR is registered. But there are cases like Punita ji just said, suppose somebody is not taking any action, there is some cognizable offense or there is some incident, even a non-cognizable offense, but somebody wants to get FIR registered because something which has happened is really grave and it needs redressal, it needs action by police, but police is not taking action. Then just if SHO of the police station, the first complaint which is made, the FIR which is registered, it is given to, the complaint is given in name of SHO of police station. If SHO is not taking any action, the police is not taking any action, just write to the senior police officers. whosoever, like in metro cities, we have DCPs, Commissioner of Police, write to Commissioner of Police. In other areas, we have Superintendent of Police, write to them also, go to them, and you have to make some efforts, because I understand we have laws, but there are always discrepancies. We have lacunas with implementation. If SHO is not hearing, just go to Commissioner of Police. You have to raise your voice. You have to be firm that I want to get FIR registered. I hope the Commissioner of Police, the Deputy Commissioner of Police, they will instruct the concerned police officer and FIR will be registered. But still, if nothing happens, then you can approach the court. You can give the copies, the complaint you have given. Now, these days, we have email IDs on websites of the police department. You can get the proof that this is the complaint I gave. If some policeman is not taking, even if suppose you are not getting any receipts also, although this never happens, they have to give the stamped receipt that they have taken your complaint. But if that is also not happening, then you can send it by registered post to the police station. You can email it to them, and if no action is taken, you can just go to court, approach court. The court will inquire into the incident. Court will issue notice. Court will summon the policeman, and FIR will be registered. Action will be taken. I think it's exercise, some kind of exercise. One has to just follow it up meticulously. But like I said, one has to be strong. Whenever there is something which you feel is offensive, which is wrong, you have to be strong. You have to pursue, and things will be done.
Students, any queries from your side, beta? So please write in the chat box. Or if you want to ask yourself, you can unmute and ask.
Request you to give a little bit of detail into this. See, most of the time, what my personal experience and institutional experience is also there. You approach the SHO of a particular police station, you take a complaint, they'll say, okay, your complaint is registered, your complaint is taken, but they will not give you this stamp. So first step, as you rightly mentioned, is that they must give a stamp that they have received your complaint, and then they are reluctant to do an FIR. You have also correctly said that you have to approach the higher authorities, and hence you can on the Google get the email address of the Police Commissioner of Delhi, and then you can write there. The Office of the Police Commissioner of Delhi replies that yes, your complaint is registered, that the such and such SHO is not registering your complaint. But further, the Police Commissioner's office does not take any action. Then in that case, what can be done is the email given to the police commissioner treated as an FIR by a lady in distress, or is it not considered as an FIR request given to the police commissioner? Is it considered as a request formally or not according to law?
It's a request. It's a genuine request. Like if any kind of complaint, suppose a lady is in distress and she is making some kind of complaint, like this is something which has happened and which needs to be looked into, which needs to be prevented, and because it's not prevented, the things may get worse also, and there is something which needs to be done immediately. But still, like suppose it happens, suppose SHO is not doing anything, IU is also not doing anything, and on the part of commissioner, we presume, suppose it happens, no action is taken, nothing happens, then you have to approach the court. You have to approach. We have a provision in CRPC 156 3 CRPC. You can, like I said, there is a provision of free legal aid also. Suppose somebody has no money, one can approach the legal aid cell in the concerned court, and if somebody is able to pay, then it's fine. And you can engage a lawyer, and immediately, like in such kind of urgent cases, you must have heard that even at 1 a.m. at night, the court was working. So like if there is some grave urgency, suppose SHO is not also doing anything, commissioner is also not doing anything, in such kind of urgent cases, you can approach court. and court will, like, if there is such grave urgency, court will, there would be like somebody to hear you out even at the middle of the night, and the things would be redressed. Like in, I think there was case like few years back where the application was moved, the petition was filed in High Court at midnight, and the High Court passed order. The Chief Justice of the High Court passed orders, and immediately interim orders were passed. And like during COVID also, we have heard of so many cases like applications were filed and the courts passed orders. So whenever there are authorities which are not abiding by the law, then there is always court. You can approach court and you can show the urgency, and I hope orders will be passed and things will be redressed.
Madam, here can you throw light upon the National Commission of Women? National Commission of Women, the portals that are available for the distress of the young girls. Can you just throw light upon the National Commission of Women and how they can register a complaint at the portal itself that the FIR is not being registered? Can you please throw some light on that?
National Commission of Women is doing commendable job. Like whenever a girl is in distress, National Commission has like Sumoto also, National Commission for Women has taken up so many cases. But whenever a complaint is made to National Commission of Women, normally they have conciliators also. So many conciliators also, mediators also. So whenever a complaint is made by a girl, suppose it's made, suppose it's a matrimonial dispute and it's made against in-laws. So they would call up both the parties. They will try to reconcile the things, and if things are not reconciled, suppose and they feel like things are not going to like resolve like by talks and the police action is required, then they can also forward a request, but still then one will have to come to police station. And suppose there is a 498A case, we have 498A. 498A is cruelty by in-laws, husband or their relatives, and in such a situation then National Commission also, there after the talks are not leading to any kind of resolution, the things come to police. But in so many cases we have seen when the matter is taken up by National Commission of Women and people go there, they are very good conciliators, they try to resolve the things get sorted out also. But still, if it's not done, then one has to go to police, and thereafter one has to go to courts for taking those redressal activities, like suppose one needs maintenance or residence orders. Those orders one can get through courts only if the mutual things don't work out.
Ma'am, students are having some questions. One student is asking, so please elaborate for the right to property. Regarding this right to property, please elaborate.
Yes, right to property, as I have spoken, that earlier what used to happen, like girls were not treated at par with sons in whenever property matters were concerned. Like women were not treated as co-partners to ancestral property. They could not claim their share, and they were not given any right to property. Like at the time of marriage, it was normally said, because we are spending on marriage, although whatever was spent on marriage normally, it was not in that proportion, and women were not given, girls were not given their share in property. But now we have Hindu Succession Act, it has been amended, and girls are on same footing as of boys. Like sons and daughters, they are on equal footing. Whatever rights to property of ancestral property or property of parents are available to a son, same rights are available to daughter also now. She is also, like by birth, she acquires a similar right as of a brother in the property. But like there is always a confusion which happens with everybody. Normally cases come to us in courts where people say like they want a share in self-acquired property of their parents. It can be like girl or boy, anybody who comes. So whenever there is a self-acquired property, there is always a difference between self-acquired property and ancestral property. Self-acquired property, if the person to whom property belongs, if that person dies intestate, that is, dies without any will, then that property will be divided in accordance with Hindu Succession Act. That is, it will be given equally to sons and daughters. But suppose like the person dies after leaving a will, and in that will the person is giving property to anybody, like to son or daughter or any XYZ person. Self-acquired property always goes as per the wishes of the person who made the will, who died leaving a will, in accordance with the conditions which were mentioned in the will. But that is in situation, that is the case with self-acquired property. The ancestral property, it devolves in accordance with Hindu Succession Act, and in ancestral property, sons and daughters, they have equal share.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. And one question, one student is asking this question. So is there any law to protect mental and emotional harassment?
Yes. Yes, there is a law to prevent mental and emotional harassment. You are speaking in regards what? Like regarding married women or unmarried women? Like when we talk about married women, I will give both examples. When we talk about married women, so we have Prevention of Domestic Violence of Women in India Act, and in domestic violence, and we have 498A IPC also, of Indian Penal Code also. So prevention of mental and emotional harassment, like it's like just like mental cruelty. So cruelty has two components. Like there are so many judgments of Supreme Court where Supreme Court says that cruelty has many components. It can be financial cruelty. Suppose a girl is married and she is not working. She is not given any money by husband for subsistence, for sustaining. So that is financial cruelty. Mental cruelty, somebody is just taunting, harassing in other ways. That is mental cruelty. Physical cruelty, if girl is abused physically, slapped, or like these days, like sexual harassment also, like having unnatural things, like without her consent, if something happens. So physical, that is physical cruelty. So yes, there is a law, cruelty of any form, it's not permissible. If cruelty happens to a married woman, she can take recourse to 498A IPC, she can report to police, or there is a like Domestic Violence Act, it's a civil law. It's a civil law, it has components of civil and criminal law both, and she can take recourse of Domestic Violence Act also, she can claim protection orders and all the rights which are available to her under the Act. So there would be a redressal. It's not that redressal is available only for physical cruelty. It's available for mental cruelty also. And in case of unmarried girls or anybody, any person, like it's a gender neutral thing, somebody who is being mentally harassed, it's a hurt. There are provisions in Indian Penal Code. So one can file police complaint. It will be registered if somebody by actions is causing mental harassment. It can be anything. It can be defamation. It can be hurt. It can be grievous hurt. Now there are so many judgments of Supreme Court where mental causing of mental harassment and giving unnecessarily agonies and that to somebody, it's also offense. It can also be reported.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. You explained it very well. And one student is asking this question, this government is having any schemes to spread awareness about women rights and laws? So government is having any schemes regarding this?
Government is like, we have National Commission of Women and they are initiating legal literacy programs. We have National Commission of Women and Ministry of Women also. They are also taking up awareness programs also. And we have so many NGOs. And like now, today you have organized this legal literacy program. So it's a part of government policies. and I think there are so many organizations which are doing their part and they are playing a role in spreading legal awareness.
Yeah, students are writing so much. One student is writing, ma'am, because of family and society, women are not able to complain in that case. And so what should we do in that case? If they are not able, they are not having the courage to complain.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, that you have to be strong. You have to raise your voice unless and until you are yourself strong. Like in one case, ma'am just have spoken that I have worked in one NGO initially when I started my law practice. So we had one coordinator who gave one example. She said that her husband comes every day and every day he comes drunk and just starts slapping her, beating her and all that. And she was never encouraged by anybody to resist or to raise her voice. So now this coordinator, she told her, now whenever he comes and whenever he slaps you, although I am not telling anybody to do such kind of things, but you just resist. You also do something. You can't just take this kind of physical abuse. Yeah. And she became bold. She resisted tooth and nail, and finally the things got sorted out. So unless until you are yourself strong, like there are so many hurdles, I understand, but still you have to come up. You have to speak. Like in case of girls, whosoever, one person will not listen, another person, but you can find your teacher, you can find your neighbor, anybody, somebody would be there. In case of somebody would be there who would always be there to help. Whenever you start searching, there would always be a person who would be there, and the things would be done. So I think you have to come up, you have to raise your voice. Yes, you have to come up as a warrior out of all those kind of suppressions, because those things happen, I understand, but slowly one has to overcome and rise out of all those things.
Yes. Dr. Punita, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just alighting from the metro, and I want to just speak for a minute. Madam, thank you so much for this enlightening talk on this. I would just like to add to your comment. The girls are asking again and again here. With your permission, I would like to mention that they observe domestic violence, but they do not gather the courage to report it to the police, and the woman who is seriously being harassed and beaten by her own family people tries to save the face of the family by not reporting it to the police. So, and I have personally, while working in National Commission of Women and even at other places, I've observed this, that this is the biggest trouble, and our present girls need to understand that you must know your rights completely, and therefore you should not be under any fear to report to the police. For example, if this is happening to your aunt, if this is happening to your mother, if this is happening to your bhabi, your masi, your bua, or any relation in your family, then you have the right to write the whole complaint, go to the National Commission of Women, and say that you need protection. It is the basic fundamental duty of a woman to protect other women. There is no such law that another person cannot report what is wrong, what is going on wrong in domestic violence in any house. And this is extremely important that the girls understand it. One might think that domestic violence takes place only with uneducated people. I would like to tell the girls, I personally know of 50 odd cases where educated men beat up educated women who have taken all kinds of degrees, and they have been under intense torture, but they do not speak because they think that what will the society say? Here it is important that you live the life of a dignified woman, and dignity comes when you keep yourself secure. It is perfect to have a family, it is perfect to have a husband, it is perfect to have everything in the society, but it is not perfect to buckle down under the pressure of any society or rules and culture and customs which force you to live the life of not even a bare human being. So that is extremely important. You should be fearless. You should know what is National Commission of Women. You should know what is Delhi State of Commission of Women. on National Commission of Women website, you can immediately even register a complaint that my FIR is not being registered. There is a place, your FIR is not being registered, click here. So today the girls, the homework is go to the website of National Commission of Women and see where you can register a complaint. You can register a complaint from your mobile. And whenever something happens and you give a document to any particular office, it is necessary that you always keep a copy of it and take a receipt of it. Act quickly, do not think, forget your emotions, keep them on the side. If something goes wrong with you, first thing practically, write down the application, report it, get a receipt and start moving. Step by step and be persistent. If any policeman misbehaves or says that I cannot do this, I will not do this, you first of all ask him what is your name, what is your number and what is your designation. These are the rules by which the girls can save themselves, and then those people who want to just throw you away and say no to you, they realize that here is a girl, here is a woman who is aware of her duties. So this is what I want to convey to you. And I think domestic violence is a really big problem in our country, and we should not stop by thinking what the society will say. I hope, Bhakti ji, please forgive me for adding this, but I have seen many personal cases, and I think this Yuva Shakti Abhiyan, जो कि इंद्रप्रस्थ शक्ति ऑर्गेनाइज कर रही है, उसका मेन पर्पस ही यही है कि लड़कियों में जागरूकता है, उन्हें पता चले, और इसीलिए आपके जैसे ज्ञानी प्रबुद्ध जनों को यहाँ पर हम इनविटेशन देते हैं, हम आभार व्यक्त करते हैं कि आप हमारे साथ आए और हमारी यंग गर्ल्स को आपके सानिध्य से इतना ज्ञान प्राप्त हुआ. बाकी जैसे कि आपने कहा कि अगर डर है तो फिर तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता, बिना डरे आगे बढ़ना है. तो मैं इंद्रप्रस्थ शक्ति की तरफ से, नेशनल कोऑर्डिनेटर युवा शक्ति अभियान और कालिंदी कॉलेज की तरफ से आपका सादर आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ, धन्यवाद प्रेषित करती हूँ. आई एम एक्सट्रीमली grateful to you and thankful to you that you have come and enlightened our students. Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you so much, Punita ji. In fact, you have added to whatever the discussion was, very well added. Like the two things which have come out is that the girls have to rise as a community, I would say. Because if something is happening with someone, if she is not able to muster that courage, the others can come forward, must come forward, I would say. And they can encourage her, no, please do something, we will go with you. I think unless and until these things come now, like women will have to support women now. Unless a girl supports a woman, things are going to be not going to change much. So you can come up, and thereafter, like you are saying, one has to be persistent. First is the community thing, like we have to evolve as a community, a girl community, a women community, that we have to protect each other, we have to empower each other, we have to rise together. And the other thing is persistency. Like you go to a police station or you go to a platform like even NCW, and nothing happens. You have to be persistent. Speak up, and it will be heard. It will definitely be heard. If you are persistent, if you are strong, it will be heard. Keep on motivating each other, and it will be heard, and things will definitely improve. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am, for such a really insightful and interesting information. And thank you so much for sparing time for us and enlighten the students. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Sudha ji, Punita ji, and the physics department, Savita ji, everyone. Thank you, students.
Madam, this is not the last time that we will invite you in our forum. We'll be grateful if whenever you can spare out some time for our girls, because the society is made, when you teach a girl, you teach a family, and you know that the girls are the future of our nation. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
It would be my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think now I can formally close the session. So thank you for today's evening. See you all tomorrow. Goodbye. Have a good day.